Hi guys, welcome back once again to the channel. So, as you know, we're rapidly approaching the end of the year. 2024 is coming to a close and we're about to start 2025. Because of that, I wanted to come on here today and I wanted to talk about what movies I'm most anticipating for next year. We've got a couple of blockbusters, a couple that I'm anticipating based on director alone, a couple based on actor alone. But yeah, I'm just going to go through about 10-ish movies that I'm most anticipating. This isn't in any particular order. This is just what I've seen so far and what I know about these movies, what I'm most excited for this upcoming year. Let's get into it. So first up, we have The Running Man. So this is a new adaptation of the novel by Stephen King. Obviously, there was already a movie version in 1987 starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. I personally haven't seen the Arnold version yet, but I am anticipating this one because, one, it's directed by Edgar Wright, whose films I've enjoyed for the most part. There's been a couple that I didn't really like, but I think his movies are still always worth checking out. And it's starring Glenn Powell, who's really on the rise right now, and is personally one of my favorite actors of this new generation in Hollywood. The supporting cast also has a lot of people I like in it, like Josh Brolin, Michael Cera, Katie O'Brien, who was just recently in Love Lies Bleeding, which was a great movie that came out this year, and William H. Macy. So I'm excited to see all these random people put together and see what kind of movie they can make. Then we have Begonia, which is the latest movie from Yorgos Lanthimos. Poor Things, The Lobster. He just recently did Kinds of Kindness, which came out this year and is on my list to see. I want to watch it before the end of the year. Maybe it'll make my end of year list video that's going to be coming out pretty soon. It stars Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons, which Emma Stone really is a favorite partner of his. I think it's even her production company. Maybe I might be wrong on that. But basically, the synopsis of this is two conspiracy obsessed young men kidnap the high powered CEO of a major company, convinced that she is an alien intent on destroying the planet. So, with that talent and that synopsis, I think it's kind of hard to not be at least a little bit interested in this. I was on the fence about Poor Things, and I think that's the only Yorgos movie I've seen so far. But I think it was still brilliantly directed, and I'm a huge fan of Emma Stone. She's probably my favorite working actress. So, of course, I'm going to check this one out. Then we have Fantastic Four First Steps. This is the only Marvel movie on this list. Not to say I'm not going to go see Captain America or Thunderbolts. Both of those look okay to me, but I'm most interested in Fantastic Four because I think this can be the real next step in getting Marvel back to that cultural relevance they had before Endgame. I think everybody's most excited about this movie. The Fantastic Four are one of the most important parts of the Marvel Universe, and we haven't seen them around. They haven't really gotten a good, fair shake at having a good movie. I'm not really the biggest fan of Fantastic Four, but I have recently gotten into reading Marvel comics, specifically X-Men and Fantastic Four, as those are my two biggest blind spots. So I am excited to see what they can do in the MCU. This is directed by Matt Shakman, who is behind WandaVision, which I thought, for the most part, was very interesting and probably the best Marvel TV show, besides maybe Loki. Up until the end, it got kind of meh with the big battle at the end. But for the most part, I thought that was really interesting, and I think it had a solid creative vision behind it. Stars Pedro Pascal, Joseph Quinn, Vanessa Kirby, and Evan Moss-Bachrach from The Bear. I think this is a pretty good cast. I'm kind of conflicted on how I feel about Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. I feel like he's a little bit older than I would have liked, but he's a great actor. I'm sure he'll make it work. So yeah, I'm excited to see how the Fantastic Four fit into the MCU. I'm excited that it's apparently going to be a 60s period piece. I love the art that's been released so far, the costumes. So yeah, I'm excited for this one. Then we have Wolfman. This is directed by Leigh Whannell. He did the Invisible Man remake that came out a couple years ago, and that was a great new take on a classic Universal monster. If you know me, I even have a video about this on my channel. I love the Universal monsters, and my favorite has always been the Wolfman. Was a little bit more excited for this when it was first announced that Ryan Gosling was going to be starring as the Wolfman. He's been replaced by Christopher Abbott, and this also stars Julia Garner. Not to say, like, Christopher Abbott's a bad actor or anything. I'm just personally more familiar with Ryan Gosling. He's one of my favorite actors today. So that was why I was a little bit more excited, but I'm still looking forward to this. Some of the leaked photos of what the Wolfman design is going to be has me a little bit iffy, but maybe it'll work better in the movie. The trailer looked pretty great and scary. So yeah, I'm hoping this can keep the train going with the comeback of the Universal monsters. Next, we have The Battle of Bacton Cross. This is the latest movie from Paul Thomas Anderson, one of the best filmmakers of the 21st century. Stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Regina Hall, Sean Penn, and Benicio del Toro. Apparently, it's rumored this is going to be PTA's biggest movie yet. They're filming it in IMAX, and just the collaboration between him and Leo is really interesting, and the fact that it's going to be apparently an attempt at a blockbuster. He usually directs pretty smaller, more intimate movies. His last biggest one was There Will Be Blood, and that was 2008. So it's been a while since he's attempted something like on this grand of a scale, and I'm really looking forward to it. Now we have Wicked Part 2, or as it's been recently called, Wicked for Good. I really enjoyed Wicked Part 1. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite movies of the year. I felt it went a little bit long, especially for being an Act 1, but I thought the performances and the music were good enough that I accepted the length, and I had a really good time with it, and I'm looking forward to see how the story concludes in Part 2. Part 1 felt like a lot of setup, so I think Part 2 will probably be even better because it's going to be the payoff to a lot of what was already established in Part 1. And I'm pretty sure it's going to have a bigger connection to The Wizard of Oz, so that would be fun. I'm a big Wizard of Oz fan. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. So yeah, I think I'll probably end up enjoying this one a little bit more, unless something goes catastrophically wrong. Then we have Mickey 17, which was supposed to be released this year, but got delayed a couple of times. It's directed by Bong Joon-ho, director of Parasite and Snowpiercer. Stars Robert Pattinson, Naomi Ackie, Steven Yeun, Mark Ruffalo, and Toni Collette. It's like a sci-fi movie. Basically follows this guy who keeps on getting cloned and dying, coming back to life for research purposes in the far distant future. I saw a trailer for this when I went to go see the IMAX re-release of Interstellar, and it looked pretty enjoyable. It looks like more of a comedy than I thought it was going to be, so that's interesting, but it looks beautiful. I'm definitely probably going to have to see this in IMAX. It looks like it's meant to be enjoyed on a big screen. And speaking of that, next we have Sinners from Ryan Coogler. This, of course, stars Michael B. Jordan. They're pretty linked at this point, and also stars Haley Steinfeld. This is a period piece horror movie. I saw this trailer also during the Interstellar IMAX re-release, and it looked gorgeous. Just off the cinematography alone from that trailer, this looks like it's going to be one of the best looking movies at the very least of next year. Apparently it's a vampire movie. Those are always fun, especially something on a big budget like this, and a period vampire movie. It looks like it's set in the early 1900s of America, so that's kind of an interesting setting for vampires. We've got Nosferatu coming out later this month I'm also excited for, so I'm glad. We've got Wolfman, we've got vampires, we've got another monster that I'm going to talk about next. It's good to see the classic monsters are coming back in full swing. So we have 2 Frankenstein movies coming out next year. There is The Bride, which is directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. Stars Jessie Buckley, Christian Bale, and Penelope Cruz. It's apparently going to be a musical. It's more focused on the bride of Frankenstein rather than the monster. So that'll be an interesting take to see. I haven't seen any of Maggie Gyllenhaal's work yet, but I'm excited with this cast. The production stills that have come out so far look really interesting. And then we have another Frankenstein film coming from Netflix, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. I really enjoyed his take on Pinocchio. This one stars Jacob Elordi, Mia Goth, Oscar Isaac. This one seems to be a more straightforward adaptation of the original novel by Mary Shelley, but with that distinctive Guillermo del Toro style. And I'm really looking forward to this one and seeing how it compares with The Bride, since both are coming out so close to each other. Finally, we come to what is undoubtedly my most anticipated movie of next year, Superman. Directed by James Gunn, stars David Corenswet, Rachel Brosnahan, and Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. So I was really not a fan of Zack Snyder's take on Superman. Pretty much ever since Man of Steel came out, I think Superman's been done pretty dirty in most media. We've been getting this evil Superman trend the last couple of years. We have Omni-Man and Homelander, the Injustice games. People seem to be really interested in this idea of an evil Superman. The Zack Snyder one was super brooding and melancholy, and Superman was treated as like this godlike figure. To me, that's not Superman. Superman is supposed to be a beacon of hope for the world and to be a symbol of the greatness of humanity. From everything that's come out, this movie seems to be returned to that classic idea of Superman. James Gunn has said this is going to be very inspired by the 1978 movie starring Christopher Reeve, who I think is still the best on-screen Superman. The poster just dropped yesterday as I'm filming this, trailer coming out later this week. So excited to see this. The costume looks amazing, and this is going to be a return to the lighthearted, friendly, hopeful Superman that everyone knows. And that's going to do it for this video. That was my most anticipated movies of 2025. If you haven't already, please subscribe and leave a like. And down in the comments, let me know what movie are you most anticipating in 2025. Is it something from this list or something entirely different? I want to know. As always, I want to thank everyone who watches these videos and continues to watch the videos. I want to wish you all a happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I'm excited for this new year. Should be a good one for movies. I hope it's a good one for you too. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.